Adhyay 6, the Lord said, "The man who performs the ordained task without desiring its fruits, rather than the one who just gives up the sacred fire or action, is a sannyasi and a yogi." Remember, O Arjun, that yoga is the same as renunciation, for no man can be a yogi without a total rejection of desire, whereas selfless action is the means for the contemplative man who wishes to achieve yoga. A total absence of will is the means for one who has attained to it. A man is said to have achieved yogi when he is unattached to both sensual pleasure and action. Since the soul enrichment is in a man, is his friend as well as foe, it is binding on a man to lift himself by his own effort rather than degrade himself. The self is a friend to the man who has overcome his mind and senses, but he is an enemy to one who has failed to do so. God is ever and inseparably present in the serene heart of the self-abiding man who is unmoved by the contradictions of heat and cold, happiness and sorrow, and fame and infame. The yogi, whose mind is quenched with knowledge, both divine and intuitive, whose devotion is steady and constant, who has conquered his senses well, and who makes no distinction between objects ostensibly as different as earth, rock, and gold, and is said to have realized God. That man is indeed superior who view all with an equal mind, friends and foes, the antagonistic, indifferent, neutral or jealous, kinsmen, and the righteous as well as sinners. The yogi, engaged in self-conquest, should devote himself to the practice of yoga in loneliness, in a secluded place, controlling his mind, body and senses, and rid of desire and acquisitiveness. The Lord said, "At a clean spot, he should devise a seat of kush grass and deerskin covered with a piece of cloth which is neither too high nor too low. He should then sit on it and practice yoga, concentrating his mind and restraining the senses for self-purification. Holding his body, head, and neck firmly erect, his eyes should concentrate on the tip of the nose, looking neither right nor left. Abiding in continence, fearless, serene at heart, alert, and restrained in mind, he should surrender himself firmly to me." The yogi with a restrained mind who thus meditates on me instantly at last attains to the sublime peace that dwells in me. This yoga, O Arjun, is neither achieved by one who eats too much or too little, nor by one who sleeps too much or too little. Yoga, the destroyer of all the griefs, is achieved only by those who regulate their food and the recreation, who strive according to their capacity, and who sleeps in moderation. A man is said to be endowed with yoga when restrained by the practice of selfless action and contented with self. His mind is free from all the desire. An analogy is drawn between the lamp whose flame does not flicker because there is no wind, and fully restrained mind of a yogi engaged in contemplation of God. In the state in which even the yoga restrained mind is dissolved by a direct perception of God, he rests contented in his self. After knowing God, he dwells forever and unwavering in the state in which he is blessed with the eternal sense transcending joy that can be felt only by a refined and subtle intellect, and in this state in which he believes that there can be no greater good than the ultimate peace he has found in God, he is unshaken by even the direst of all the griefs. It is a duty to practice this yoga untouched by miseries of the world with vigor and determination, and without a sense of annoy. Abandoning all desire, lust, and attachment, and pulling in by an exercise of the mind the numerous senses from all the sides. His intellect should also rein in mind firmly and make it contemplate nothing except God, and thus, step by step, he should proceed towards the attainment of final liberation. Doing away with the causes that make the inconstant and fickle wander among worldly objects, he should devote his mind to God alone. The most sublime happiness is the lot of the yogi, whose mind is at peace, who is free from evil, whose passion and moral blindness have been dispelled, and who has become one with God. Thus constantly dedicating his self to God, the immaculate yogi experiences the eternal bliss of realization. The worshipper, whose self has achieved the state of yoga, and who sees all with an equal eye, beholds his own self in all beings and all beings in his self. From the man who sees me as a soul in all the beings and all beings in me, I am not hidden and he is not hidden from me. The even-minded yogi, who addresses me, the soul in all the beings, abides in me no matter whatever he does. The worshipper, O Arjun, who perceives all things as identical and regards happiness and sorrow as identical, is thought to be the most accomplished yogi. Arjun said, "Since the mind is so restless, I cannot see, O Madhusudan, that it can dwell steadily and belong in the way of knowledge which you have expounded to me as a equanimity. For I find restraining the mind as difficult as restraining the wind, because it is restless, turbulent, and mighty." The Lord said, "The mind is, O the mighty arm, doubtlessly fickle and hard to restrain, but it is disciplined, O son of Kunti, by perseverance of efforts and renunciation. It is my firm conviction that while the attainment of yoga is most difficult for a man who fails to restrain his mind, it is easy for him who is his own master and active in the performance of the required action." Arjun said, "What is the end, O Krishna, of the acquiescent worshipper whose inconstant mind has strayed from selfless action and who has therefore been deprived of perception, which is the final outcome of yoga? Is it, O the mighty arm, that his deluded man, with no heaven to turn to, is destroyed like scattered clouds, deprived of both self-realization and worldly pleasures? You, O Krishna, are the most capable of fully resolving these doubts of mine, because I cannot think of anyone else who can do it." The Lord said, "This man, O Parth, is destroyed neither in this world nor in the next, because, my brother, one who performs good deeds never comes to grief. The righteous men who deviate from the path of yoga achieve celestial merits and pleasures for countless years, after which he is reborn in the house of virtue and the noble man, or he is admitted to the family of discerning yogi, and such a birth is truly the most rare in the world. He naturally bears with him into his new birth the noble impressions of youth from his previous existence, and by dint of this he strives well for perfection. Although he is lured by objects of sense, the merit of his previous life draw him towards God, and his aspiration of yoga enables him to go beyond the material rewards promised by the Veds. The yogi, who has purified his heart and mind through several births by intense meditation, and thus rid himself of all the sin, attains to the ultimate state of realizing God. Since yogi is superior to men who do penance, or men who follow the path of discrimination, or men who desire the fruits of action, O Kurunandan, it should be a door of selfless action. Among all yogis, I think that one the best who is dedicated to me and who, abiding in the self, always adores me.